live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at the ChannelEye Rupavahini Corporation. We're ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I'm Charita Vinapurarachi, together with Sharon Screens. The party leaders' meeting proposes to appoint Speaker as the acting President for 7 days while stepping down President and the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says he will step down from the post, allowing an all-party government. Protesters take over Presidential Secretariat, President's House and the temple trees. 49 injured during protests. A tense situation reported at Chatham Street. MP Rajitha Senaratne assaulted. Many countries pay tribute to former Japanese Prime Minister.
On a historical day here in Sri Lanka, on to the main top story for today. The party leaders' meeting, which was held today, has decided that the President and the Prime Minister should step down their post and appoint a Speaker as acting President for 7 days.
And the future course of action will be taken after Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene informs the decision to the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
Top story.
An emergency party leaders meeting took place this afternoon to discuss the prevailing situation under the patronage of the Speaker. Party leaders in Parliament have taken the decision. The Prime Minister's media division said that the Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has said he is prepared to step down from the post and hand over power to an all-party government. Distribution of fuel island-wide is scheduled to commence again this week. Mr. Wickremesinghe has said that he will take the decision since the director of the World Food Programme is arriving in the country this week and the IMF Debt Sustainability Report is scheduled to be presented. He said that he agreed with the recommendations of the party leaders to ensure security of all citizens. The President has also said his future course of action will be informed after the party leaders' meeting.
A large group of people from various parts of the country arrived in Colombo today to support the anti-government protests. Shops have been closed in many areas and protests were conducted in some cities. A tense situation arose when there was no train to travel to Colombo for a group of protesters at the Kandy railway station this morning. Thereafter, due to heavy pressure from the people, the station master took steps to run a train to Colombo from 8:30 a.m. A large group of people arrived in train from Kalutara to take part in the protests. The group who gathered at the railway station shouted slogans. Another tense situation occurred when a train was not available for a group to arrive at the Galle railway station to take part in the protests. They engaged in a protest by blocking the Galle-Colombo main road in front of the railway station. Police intervened and held discussions with the railway authorities and took steps to operate a train to Colombo. Entry roads to Colombo were filled with people who came to take part in the protests. A protest walk was commenced near Battaramulla Diyathuina this morning and they moved towards Colombo Fort with national flags. Another large group of people commenced their walk to take part in the protest from Piliyandala town. They commenced a walk after engaging in a protest in Piliyandala. From morning today, people were arriving to take part in the protest from the Colombo Fort railway station. Security forces used tear gas and water cannons when a group of protesters tried to remove barricades at the Fort Chatham Street area. A tense situation took place and thereafter protesters took over the water cannons of the police.
Police.
Samagi Janabalawege MP Rajitha Senaratne, who came to join the protesters, have been assaulted by some people at the place. It was reported that another group of parliamentarians of the party were attacked and subjected to protests. The protesters who were at the Colombo Fort and Golface Green tried to enter the President's house around 12:30 p.m. today.
The protesters have come towards President's house through Janadipati Bhavata and Chatham Street. The gates towards the President's house on Janadipati Bhavata were closed on the protesters climbed the wall and entered the residence. With the tense situation arose between security forces and the protesters with the withdrawal of troops and police officers who were on security duties at the President's house. The protesters entered the residence around 1 p.m. The protesters take all over the premises of President's house and inspected conference halls, rooms, kitchen and other places. Another group of protesters used the swimming pool next to the President's house.
මේ අතර ගාලුමෝදුර පිහිටි ජනාධිපති කාර්යාලයටද උද්ඝෝෂකයන් අද ඇතුළු වුණා.
Those are visuals for you from today's protests. Now, 49 people who were injured during the protests today have been admitted to the Colombo National Hospital. The accident service said that one of them is in serious condition and a surgery was performed on him.
And meanwhile, Parliament Reform Group of Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna has requested President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to step down from the post and to give the opportunity for a mature leader without corruption charges who can command a majority in Parliament. The group of parliamentarians is of the view that an all-party government should set up with the contribution of all parliamentarians under a suitable Prime Minister by immediately convening the Parliament and establishing the stability in the country. They have mentioned this in a letter sent to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The letter has been sent under 16 signatures of members of Parliament. MP Dallas Alaha Peruma, issuing a Twitter message, said that the all-party leaders meeting agreed that the President and the Prime Minister should resign immediately. He also said that the Speaker must become the acting President, the Parliament must be convened within a week to elect a new President, and in the same week, a coalition government must be formed representing all parties. He has requested the public to behave with the restraint under the present circumstances.
Minister Bandula Gunavartana says that he will step down from his ministerial portfolio. In a statement published on his official Facebook page, Minister Gunavartana said that he would also withdraw his Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna membership. However, he said that he will continue as an independent member of Parliament.
And meanwhile, the opposition leader Sajid Premadasa has issued a statement stating that the Samagi Janabala Vege will not attend discussions summoned by the Prime Minister, who is holding a post illegally, as the people in the country demand both the President and the Prime Minister to resign.
The opposition leader has said that the present Prime Minister secured Rajapaksas who were pushed to the wall amidst the people's protest by bringing them into a political arena and betrayed the struggle. Therefore, he has said that he is also an accused of the crisis. The opposition leader has said that the government's oppressive and anti-democratic activities are clearly evident now, and he would not take part in discussions that take place after the horse has bolted. The opposition leader's statement has said when the people in the country are directed on an objective, the government should rein by moving out of plastering the process.
The Ministry of Education has given a holiday for all schools from the 11th to the 15th of this month by considering the fuel crisis and transport difficulties. The minister said that the view of all stakeholders were taken in this regard. A discussion took place yesterday headed by Minister of Education Susil Premchand. Additional Secretaries, Director General of National Education Institute, Subject Directors, Provincial Directors including the Ministry's Secretary took part in the discussion. View of the trade unions were also obtained. Accordingly, the Education Minister said that the decision was taken. And meanwhile, the ship carrying 40,000 metric tons of urea fertilizer has entered the Colombo harbour this morning. Minister of Agriculture said that the distribution of fertilizer will commence from tomorrow.
Sri Lanka will get 65,000 metric tons of fertilizer under the Indian credit line. This is the first stock of fertilizer under that credit line. Unloading of fertilizer commenced today. The Indian High Commissioner will hand over the stock fertilizer to the Minister of Agriculture tomorrow. An extraordinary Gazette notification has been issued last night under the signature of the Minister Nalin Fernando. It has declared liquid petroleum gas as a specific good essential for people's lives. Issuing of fuel from Lanka IOC filling stations was suspended temporarily yesterday. Fuel is scheduled to be issued again from tomorrow. Long queues can be seen near filling stations. Bread was given to the people in queues near IOC filling stations in Kaluthura for several days. Officers of the Kaluthura Crimes Division organised the offering yesterday. Activities at the Kampetipola Special Economic Centre have been disrupted due to protests in Colombo. Traders from outstations have not arrived at the economic centre. Operation of the SLTB buses in Valimada town and its surrounding cities has been completely disrupted.
Meanwhile, the Senkatagala statement, which includes 6 points, including presenting a common program for the present crisis, was announced yesterday near the Monaravila Kapetipola statue in front of Sri Dananda Maligava in Kandy. It has presented a common program that can be agreed upon all parties, including religious leaders, intellectuals, professionals and business community, to end the present predicament of the people by establishing an all-party government. Venerable Omal Pesobitera presented the Senkatagala statement at the Mahasangha. Archbishops of Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit and civil society representatives were present on this occasion. The Senkatagala statement has been prepared similar to the content of the proposals presented by the Mahanayak Theras of the 3 chapters to solve the crisis. It includes stepping down of the President and interim administration by all parties, conducting general and presidential elections within a specific time frame through an all-party consensual government. Venerable Omal Pesobitera said that the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, together with his Prime Minister, should resign immediately, allowing the public opinion by giving space to an interim administration to rescue the country from this disaster. Archbishop Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit said that the country needs a new freedom. A structure to take forward the country without race and religious divisions should be formed. He said that they pledged before the sacred tooth relic to take the country forward towards a new future. The Mahasangha, religious leaders and civil society representatives signed the statement at Queen's Hotel in Kandy. Thereafter it was presented to the Malbatu and Askiri Mahanayaka Theras. Stay tuned for international news after this break.
Terima Kotumi Pantan.
On to foreign news now. Japanese police have admitted that there were faults in the security for the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who was shot dead in the southern city of Nara yesterday. It is undeniable that there were problems in security, said Nara Police Chief Tomiyako Onizuka. A gunman opened fire on Abe at a political campaign event, a crime that was profoundly shocked Japan. A motorcade carrying Abe's body has arrived at his home in Tokyo. Police say the suspect, named as Tetsuya Yamagami, 41 years of age, held a grudge against a specific organization. He believed that Abe was a part of it, and they said that Yamagami had admitted shooting him with a homemade gun, according to police. Gun violence is extremely rare in Japan, where handguns are banned and incidences of political violence are almost unheard of.
Terima Kotumi Pantan.
Welcome back, and now it's a sports update. Today is the second day of the second test match played between Sri Lanka and Australia at the Galle International Cricket Stadium, and at the end of today's play, Sri Lanka has secured 184 runs with a loss of 2 wickets for their first innings.
At the commencement of play of the second day, Australia was 298 for 5 wickets. Alex Carey was out for 28 runs as the first wicket of the day. Sri Lanka bowlers were able to bowl out Australia team for 364 runs. Stephen Smith high scored for Australia with 145 runs. Premadasa Surya bowling an excellent spell took 6 wickets for 118 runs. This is his first test match. Thereafter, Gunavartana and Pathum Nissanka commenced Sri Lanka first innings. Pathum Nissanka was out for 6 as the first wicket. Gunavartana scored 30 test half century and Kusal Mendis scored his 14th test half century today. Dimuth was out as the second wicket for 86 runs at the close of play today as Kusal Mendis was not out for 84.
Terima kasih, Pantan.
And with that, we conclude tonight's news. Tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita signing off with Sharon. Stay safe. Good night.